Hey guys, how's it going? It is your boy, Manga Man Drew, and I'm here to do my manga review for My Hero Academia, manga chapter 380. And boy oh boy, has it been a while since I've done this. Almost around 2-3 weeks? Yeah, the sudden break really put a hamper on things, but I'm still here to do my review of this chapter, and this is going to be a very interesting chapter for a few reasons. One, it caused a fair amount of controversy for a scene that is about to be in this chapter, and we will be discussing that shortly, but also, you know, just everything that happens in the My Hero Academia is basically a controversy at this point. But overall, I will say that I did enjoy this chapter, and I will be telling you why that is the case. For starters, this chapter actually begins with the title of the chapter, obviously, which is Close Call for Realsies. If you are very astute in the My Hero Academia fandom, you would know what this would entail, so you probably already know how this chapter ends. But for the most part, the beginning of this chapter is very interesting because we're getting to see a little bit more into the purposes of certain characters, specifically the business course, and why they are in this battle. And we knew that they were recording the battle itself, but we actually see how much of the battle that they are actually going to record. And that includes the fight between Deku and Tomoe Shigaraki, but also the escapades of Gentle Criminal himself. And we do get a touching conversation between Gentle and the business course student with the big old puffy hair about how when it comes to the business course students, they were unable to really do their jobs and connect the people to the heroes. While with Gentle's case, he does not necessarily care about the fame and the fortune or really just being known that he's here to do the right thing. So these ideals begin to collide, and the business course students realize that they have to record this battle in a way to provide hope for the people so that they are able to see that this person, this child, this hero is fighting for them so that they can connect the hearts of the people to the heroes. And Gentle was very concerned for this kid's safety since, you know, he's in a falling fortress, but he understands the situation at hand. And you know, you also have LaBrava, who's literally hacked his phone and is now live streaming this entire thing to the entire world. And no, she's not doing it because of Deku, she's doing it for Gentle because of obvious reasons. So I think this part of the chapter is very interesting because it is confirming that this information is going to be broadcast to the entire world, but also giving a little bit more light and a little bit more shading to characters such as Gentle Criminal and this one business course student, and really giving them a unique character that is really unique to them, and really pushing the story forward in a way which is the idea that people and heroes need to be connected in one another so that everyone can be a hero in their own way. Because even the business course himself said that he is a hero and that this is his way of doing so. So it's cool that we got that in this chapter, but we also get something very unexpected, and by unexpected, I mean completely expected. Because Eraserhead got thrown off of UA, and President Mike chased after him, along with all of the Toga Twice clones. Oh no, is he about to die? Nope. We actually get to see that Kurogiri, even in this warped, glitchy state, still has this sense to protect the people that he cares about, and he goes and actually saves Aizawa and President Mike. Unfortunately, that means that Erasure has been completely taken out of this equation, so now the heroes have to fight Tomoe Shigaraki with nothing but pure faith, as well as the raw power of Deku. So this is very interesting because this is confirming, most likely than not, that when it comes to Shigaraki, when it comes to Aizawa, and when it comes to Kurogiri, it's going to all boil down to who is he going to take after most, Kurogiri or Shirokuma. And I think that with this helping these people, helping out President Mike and Aizawa, Shirokuma may actually be the one taking control, especially when we get the line where he is questioning, "Who am I?" And this part of the chapter pretty much ends with a confrontation between Deku and Tomoe Shigaraki, of Deku coming and ramming at Tomoe Shigaraki, most likely with full force as it's recorded by the business course students. But from here, we actually cut over to Gunga Mountain, where we see that the heroes are being overrun by the Toga Twice clones, as we have All For One doing everything in his ability to try and escape. And this led to a little bit of controversy when it comes to the validity of All For One and his planning and his ability to fight, where people are like, why don't he just nuke the entire field and just leave? Without taking into account that A, he is actively leaving right now, and B, what is a nuke going to do when the person that is coming after him can fly at most likely near Mach speed? It's like, people don't understand that just because the option is there doesn't mean that it's the best option. But either way, we do have All For One realizing what's going on and how when it comes to what's happening with Tomura, that was never the plan. He did intend to take Tomura over completely. However, when it comes to the new personality and the fusion, that was not a part of the original plan. And he begins to think to himself that what he needs to do is force the quirk factor and Tomura to be combined and absorbed to seal Tomura away once and for all. Which is very interesting because it means that if Tomura is sealed away, that means that he's not technically dead, but it's like the eternal death of like, if you can't move or do anything, are you actually really alive? But with moral quandaries beside us, because we don't really need to talk about that right now, we see that Hawks is on his way saying that, oh yeah, no, this isn't your story, Demon Lord. This is our story, as he goes in for a feint attack, but uses the little feathers that he has left to actually go and attack All For One in this moment. And how Hawks thinks that he has to do everything within his power to try and preserve the future for the next generation. But All For One doesn't believe that the people have a future, and he seemingly kills Hawks with a blast of some quirk from his hand. And at first glance, you may be thinking, oh my gosh, Hawks is dead. Oh my gosh, I can't believe he did this again. And then you realize, wait, why is there no blood? And why is his hands all twisted up in this way that doesn't seem natural? And that's because it's not natural. And it wasn't Hawks. It was actually an illusion. By Kami, because of course it was. And this is where a second issue with the chapter comes in for the community of My Hero Academia. And it's the idea that this is a fake out death and this is bad. And why are we having humor in the final war during a serious scene? A few things there. One, it was very obvious that Hawks wasn't going to die in this moment. In hindsight, with the title of this chapter being for realsies, which is a term that Kami uses frequently, so we knew for a fact that Kami was going to play a part in this chapter, so it makes sense that it would happen with Hawks, because she does have a very much fascination with very attractive people. And second of all, it's My Hero Academia. It's comedy. This is nothing new. There was comedy in the final war, there was comedy during serious scenes and very emotional scenes, and there was comedy within this war itself. Not as much as you may want, but not significant enough to actually take away from the story. Did we forget what happened with Bakugo in the first war? What happened with the characters having like these facial expressions when they saw the Nomu? Tomura literally stood on Endeavor and made a joke at his expense. I think people in My Hero Academia have just become oversensitive and overcritical, and it's really taking away from the story for a lot of people. But what isn't taken away from the story is the fact that Kami is here. But not just Kami, but some other students from Shiketsu High, including Inasa, who, with a large gust of wind, is able to take away a large chunk of the twice clones and give the heroes an advantage, as he boasts that when it comes to the winds blowing, he is the one that controls the wind. But yeah, this is pretty much the chapter for My Hero Academia. It seems to be a little bit more set up for what's to come. Getting to see Inasa playing a part in this is something that many people in the community really wanted, and probably still are going to complain about, but it's still fun to see that Shiketsu is here. And we did get a quick blurb for why they are here now, which is setting up most likely for something that's going to be going on in the underground UA area. So I do not think that we're going to get a flashback to that necessarily right now, but we will be seeing what that is going to entail and what is going to be happening to the civilians. And most likely this is referring to the scene where we saw some of the spies that are for All For One on a phone call, and they may enact an evil plan that is probably going to be stopped, if not by the civilians underground in UA, the heroes that are there, because we do know for a fact that at the very least Death Arms is in UA, so he may play a part in stopping the people from doing the horrible things that they could potentially be doing. But overall, like I said, I really did enjoy this chapter. It's just a setup chapter, but it's a setup chapter for something interesting. I really love the dynamic that we saw with Gentle Criminal as well as the one business course students. I thought that was done very well. as well as getting to see the confrontation and confirmation of what All For One is doing in this chapter, and getting to see these returning characters actually playing a role in the story, and it's very cool to see it. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about this chapter for now. What did you think of the chapter? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? What was your favorite part? Leave your comments down below on what you thought, leave a like on the video if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit that notification bell to be notified for whenever I upload more content like this. Do all that cool jazz, and hopefully I'll be able to catch you in my next video. Goodbye!